Last time I made a video, I had like 140 subscribers. Now I have over 300. I haven't made a video in a year, and that, thanks, I guess. Cool. Welcome back. So, like I said, I haven't made a YouTube video in a long time, but I'm not going to explain all that because I don't have enough subscribers to care at all, and that's not why you clicked on this video. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about airsoft guns. So here I have a AEG pistol, and it is a Colt 1911 style made by CYMA or CYMA, however you pronounce that. And then here I have a CO2 pistol made, or it's branded under Smith & Wesson. So we're going to be comparing these today, and I'm going to be going over pros and cons versus a CO2 pistol and an electric pistol, and you can decide which one works better for you. First, we're going to be looking at the CO2 pistol. I'm sorry for the black background with black stuff. I know that's annoying, but it's what I have today. This is CO2 Non Blowback. So what blowback means is that the slide, when you fire, will slide back and forward like a real firearm. And this slide does move a little bit, but it does absolutely nothing. There is a safety on the side. That's safe. That is no longer safe. The mag on this CO2 pistol has the CO2 in it. On some pistols, they will have it in the handle, and then they will have a thin mag that goes in the front. But this one has it in the magazine. This magazine originally held 15 BBs. I was able to modify it a little bit to hold 16. Let's fire it. I just used the Allen wrench that the gun came with. So the CO2 canister, from what I've read online and in my own experience, it'll last about around 200 shots. Depends how good and conservative of a gun you have. In a war, that's not that many. We have it loaded with 16 BBs. So the cool thing about magazines like this is that since it has a CO2 cartridge in the magazine, if you run out of CO2, you can switch magazines really quick if you have another one of these. The disadvantage to these is that they're pretty bulky compared to the thin mags, and they are a little bit more because they have the valve for the CO2 built into them. So here I'm going to fire a couple shots. This is a semi-auto pistol. All out. I don't have a FPS reader, but I'm pretty sure it's around 300 FPS. I think, and it slowly goes down as the CO2 canister pressure lowers as you use more and more CO2. Another plus about this gun compared to my electric pistol is that it has a small Picatinny rail down here. So now for the 1911. I love this gun. It is very nice. Full metal gearbox, and a lot of the parts are metal. This top slide is metal. And the lower half is not metal, but it has quite a few metal parts in it, including the motor and the gearbox, of course. So it's considerably heavy. I could almost compare it to some real-life firearms as far as weight, from my experience. I've never held an actual 1911. I've held several Glocks, though. And so their lower half is not metal also, so it can be compared to the weight of those. So this gun, I will say, the handle is not as comfortable as the other pistol I have. That being said, it is a pretty good grip. It's got a grip safety. You got to be holding that down to pull the trigger. You can force it to shoot without holding this down, but that's pointless. I do kind of like it more than a safety here, because if you forget the safety, if there's a safety here and you forget that it's on safe and you go to fire, it won't fire. And this one, you just gotta be gripping it to fire, which is nice. So as you see, I could take the slide off, pull that down, push forward, and take this off. That is so you can access the adjustable hop-up, which is really nice. This gun has adjustable hop-up. My CO2 pistol does not. I'm pretty sure other models you can. Also inside here is the battery. So pull this down. There's the battery in here. This is a 500 milliamp hour 7.2 volt battery, and it is nickel MH. I don't remember what MH stands for. So, not the 100% best batteries, but they're good batteries. You can also buy a bunch of the extra parts for these guns online for decent prices. The battery, I think, it doesn't say in the instructions I got how long it takes to charge. I just charge it for around 3 hours, and it will last quite a few shots. This one, I tried counting, and I counted to 500, and I was just done. And then I just full autoed a bunch and wasted the battery completely, and it still lasted quite a bit long. So 3 times as many as a CO2 gun. Also, like I mentioned, the full auto on this gun. Here it's on semi-auto. Here it's on full auto. Another nice thing is these magazines are very thin. They're metal, and they can hold 29 BBs. They say they hold 30, but I counted, and I was only able to fit 29 in these, which is still way more than 16 on the other gun. Another nice thing about these mags is they are about half the price of the CO2, the mag that holds the CO2 in it. They also hold a lot more, and you can buy aftermarket ones that hold 100. From reviews I've heard, they say they only hold 98 actually, which makes sense considering this one only holds 29, not 30. So here's semi-auto. And full auto. All out. It is pretty fast. I do enjoy that full auto since the CO2 gun doesn't have the full auto. I do like this gun quite a bit better. I will say that the only thing I like better about that gun is the grip. It is considerably more ergonomic. It's quite a bit thinner, if you can see that, than the 1911 grip. One last quick recap. As you can see, the 1911 is quite a bit bigger. The Smith & Wesson has a tactical rail underneath. The 1911 does not. Smith & Wesson has a smaller grip, and the 1911's grip is pretty big. The Smith & Wesson has a switch on the side for the safety, and the 1911 has the hand grip safety. They both have mag releases in the same spot. The trigger pull on the 1911 is quite a bit less than the trigger pull on the Smith & Wesson. Gotta turn it off safe. So that's, I guess, could be a pro or con. The magazines are quite a bit more expensive for this one. I think the cheapest I found them were I think around $20. And then the magazines for this gun are around $8 to $15. Depends where you go buy them. I would suggest Amazon. You can also buy the 100-round mags of these on Amazon for, I think, a little more. And then you can also buy a battery for $13, I believe, on Amazon. I will definitely end up doing that so I can have a backup battery. All in all, I like this gun a lot more. This CO2 gun has been very entertaining. I have done a bunch of crazy stuff. My last video was actually about this a year ago, where I attached some Nerf attachment things on it to make it shoot Nerf darts extremely hard, which was fun to mess around with this. And this one can't do that. But this, as far as airsoft goes for me, is not the most practical gun. I know there are better CO2 guns out there. This one's just not one of the better ones. But all in all, not a bad gun. This gun I am enjoying quite a bit. So price ranges, this gun I got for like 40, and then a month later it was on sale for like 30, so I was mad. But you can get guns like this that are just like the cheaper end of the CO2 guns, which aren't terrible, but they aren't that great, for like as low as $25. I think there's a Crossman brand one where it's only like 25 or 30. If you want a blowback one, they are around 70 to 80 to like up as far as price range, and usually those are the ones that have the full auto. I do believe those ones, the full auto ones, are nice, but they wear out a lot quicker because of the blowback action and how fast they are shooting. This gun was $50 on eBay is where I bought it. I will try to find that link if they're still selling them so you can go buy one. Otherwise, the other good one is Evike. That's the cheapest place I could find it. That was, I think, around $60. In conclusion, I do like the 1911 more than the Smith & Wesson CO2 pistol, but there are a lot better CO2 pistols out there, and another type called green gas pistols, which are the same concept, which is compressed air. So I hope you learned something. Obviously, I'm not a professional airsofter, so I don't know everything. So a lot of people out there that are watching this video might think I'm dumb for saying all this stuff, but I hope you people that don't know a lot about airsoft learned something today. And please comment if you have any suggestions for me, since I am a noob, kind of. And please like this video, and if you'd like to see more stuff and other crazy stuff, make sure to subscribe to CJ's Stuff. Me likey full auto.